The story of this ration begins long before a soldier ever opened the small wax-sealed packet. It starts with the brutal reality of mountain warfare, a reality so unforgiving that normal rations simply didn't work. Troops fighting in the Alps, the Apennines, the Pyrenees, the Carpathians, or the rocky ridges above Burma weren't just battling an enemy. They were battling cold that froze fingers stiff, air so thin it stripped strength, and terrain that punished every step. And in those extreme heights, one thing decided whether a soldier kept moving: calories. Lots of them. Fast. Quietly. Without smoke, without weight, and without fail. That's why today we're opening up the little-known story of the World War II mountain survival ration, one of the smartest, most efficient emergency food systems ever designed, and a piece of history modern survivalists can still learn from. For the next few minutes, stay with me, because once you understand how this ration was built and how soldiers used it, you'll never look at your bug-out bag or your hiking kit the same way again. Regular field rations failed in the mountains. They were too heavy, required cooking, or created smoke that gave away a soldier's position. Firing up a stove on a ridgeline in occupied Italy or along the Gothic line was practically an invitation for mortar fire. Dehydration hit faster, altitude sickness sapped strength, and cold consumed calories at a brutal rate. Soldiers couldn't afford to waste a single breath or a single ounce of energy. To address this problem, militaries began building a specialized emergency ration, designed solely for survival, not comfort. Weight mattered, shelf life mattered, speed mattered. A soldier needed to be able to rip it open with numb hands and use it immediately, without fire or water if necessary. It had to deliver energy instantly, and it had to keep doing so for hours, even if the soldier was climbing ice-coated switchbacks with a 40-pound pack. This was the blueprint that formed the World War II mountain survival ration. Different countries produced variations, but, the core concept was the same. High-density calorie blocks built around sugar, fat, carbohydrates, and compact proteins. The American version often included concentrated chocolate, compressed oat or wheat biscuits, dextrose, tablets, pemmican-style fat protein blocks, raisins, and vitamin tablets. Some kits included sweetened condensed milk in tube form or fruit bars with, honestly, shockingly high sugar content. Nothing was included for taste. Everything was included for survival. The magic was in the balance. Fat burned slowly and steadily through long climbs. Sugar provided fast energy for short bursts, like scrambling up a cliffside with full kit. Carbs filled the middle ground, keeping a soldier moving at a steady pace. All of it was chosen because it stayed stable in freezing cold, resisted moisture, and wouldn't shatter like standard rations. Many soldiers reported that even a small piece of the chocolate or the fruit bars gave them enough of a jolt to push another mile up the mountain. The combination made this ration an early example of what modern endurance athletes pay top dollar for today: high-calorie, high-efficiency fuel designed for extreme environments. These were not meant to replace meals. They were meant to save lives. A soldier typically kept one sealed in his mountain pack at all times. When weather turned, when patrols ran long, or when supply mules couldn't navigate the terrain, this ration became the difference between keeping strength or collapsing from exhaustion. A common method was rationing the blocks in phases. A soldier would take a few bites during a rest stop, letting the sugar and dextrose take effect before the climb continued. During long, unbroken ascents, he might chew slowly on the biscuits or protein blocks to keep his metabolism steady. When cold made it difficult to stay warm, the fat content became crucial, fuel that the body could burn to maintain core temperature. In some units, especially in the Alps, mountain troops even slept with the ration inside their jackets to keep it from freezing solid. A small detail, but one that shows how vital this little packet truly was. This ration's usefulness didn't end with the war. Its principles are, honestly, perfect for modern survival: long-distance hiking, climbing, emergency bags, and even backwoods homesteading. You can create your own modern version by using the same principles soldiers depended on. A high-fat food source like homemade pemmican, a dense carbohydrate source such as compressed oatcakes or hardtack, and a quick energy source like a chocolate bar with a high cocoa butter content. Add dried fruit for minerals and instant sugar, and you've, well, basically reproduced the core components of a World War II mountain ration. You can also carry the lesson of energy pacing. Use fast sugars only when you need a burst, like navigating a steep climb. Use fat-rich foods for long-term steady output. Use carbs to bridge the gap. This keeps you fueled without crashing, exactly the way wartime climbers managed their endurance. So, here's an idea. Try assembling these components in a waxed cloth pouch or a sealed tin. Keep it with your hiking gear and, well, give it a go on your next long trek. You might be surprised by how handy it turns out to be. You will immediately understand why mountain soldiers trusted this system. It works. This ration remains a reminder of how smart survival design truly was. The World War II mountain survival ration might not be as famous as the K ration or the C ration, but for the troops who carried it into thin, freezing air, it was one of the most dependable pieces of gear they had. It's a forgotten lesson in efficiency, simplicity, and the brutal practicality of wartime ingenuity. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's smartest survival foods, make sure you subscribe to Backyard Wisdom and share this video with fellow history buffs and survival enthusiasts. There are more forgotten tools, techniques, and wartime secrets waiting to be rediscovered. And we're just getting started.